Why chase storms when you can create your own? In this Unreal Engine tutorial, I will show you how to create a twister using Niagara systems. Now let's get started. So the first thing I'll do is delete what I have so that I can show you how to make this effect from scratch. Now go ahead and open up your content browser and right click to create a new Niagara system. Choose an empty emitter and then hit create. Let's rename this ns_twister. Double click to open it and let's drag this to its own browser. Now let's rename this emitter by hitting F2 and I'm just going to call it base. Now we can start adding some particles to this. So under emitter update, hit this plus button and choose spawn rate. Let's give the spawn rate a value of 1000. And now let's add some velocity here. So under particle spawn, hit the plus button and choose add velocity. We need to fix issue for solve forces and velocity. And now we can see some movement taking place. Under velocity mode, let's change it from linear to in cone. And we have it going sideways, so let's make the x-axis 0 and the z-axis 1. Now the particles are spawning upward. And let's increase the speed quite a bit. I'm going to make it 380. Woo, nice. So now let's go ahead and under initialize particle here, let's make the sprites a little bit smaller. So under sprite size mode, go to uniform and then let's give them a size of 5, just so we could see what they're doing a little bit better. So now let's add some spin to them. So under particle update here, hit the plus button and type in vortex and choose vortex force. I'm going to increase this vortex force amount to 2000. I'm also going to increase the origin pull amount to 8000. And what that will do is it will hold them closer. Here, let me make this 0 just to show you what it does. Increasing this increased the twist amount, and increasing this allows them to go up straighter for longer. So now I'm going to add another vertex force that's going to allow it to disperse at the top. So let me hit the plus button under particle update again and type in vortex. And we can let's make the vortex force amount here 1000, and under origin pull amount, let's make this negative 1000. So instead of pulling it in, it pulls it out. And now what we need to do is check on vortex origin offset so that we can offset this so it's a bit higher. I'm gonna make this 850, and now we should be able to see, see it's dispersing more up top here. Let's go ahead and make this just 800 so it happens a little bit lower. And nice. So I think it's a little bit too thin here. So under particle spawn here, let's emit the particles from a shape. So choose shape location. And instead of sphere, I'm going to change it to torus. And right now this is a bit too thick for me at the bottom. So I'm going to make this 10 for the large radius. And for the handle radius, I'm going to make that 5. And let me just make sure this is 10. And nice. So we're getting a cool vortex force happening. And if you want to make a cool effect here, you can add a ribbon renderer. And if you turn off the sprite, you can see some ribbon twister occurring. But now let's add the wind to this effect. So the first thing we need to do is under particle update here, go ahead and type in set and find set fluid source attributes. What this will do is it will allow us to link a 3D grid master emitter, which will allow for smoke, which will act as the air in this effect. But before we add that, go to properties here and change the sim target to a GPU sim and the calculate bound mode from dynamic to fixed. This is great for working with a 3D grid gas master emitter. So now go ahead and check add emitter and type master up here and add that grid 3D gas master emitter. Now with this added, the first thing we're going to see is a sphere with smoke. So go to sources here and go ahead and check off the enable for sphere source. And then under particle source type, instead of off, choose emitter. And now under emitter binding, we want to plug in whatever we named this emitter. So I named it base. So I'm going to type in base, click, and then disappear. And now we can see that the smoke is taking effect on the particles that we made in this effect. But they're a bit limited, so let's adjust some of these values to create that cool effect that I had in the beginning. So under simulation here, let's go ahead and change the world size to 1500 in all dimensions. We can also increase the point here a little bit higher by making this 0.45. And nice. The smoke isn't dissipating fast enough, so under the dissipation rate here, I'm going to increase this to 4. We can go ahead and turn off the ribbon renderer now as well. And if you want to control the lighting, you can do it the same way you do regular scenes by just hitting Control L. Nice. So the particles are living too long, so under initialize particle here, let's go ahead and give the lifetime a random range float so that the particles die at different times. I'm going to give the minimum value 2 and the maximum value 3. Nice. It's already looking better. Cool. And so back in our grid 3D gas master emitter, let's go ahead and we'll adjust the resolution at the very end, but I want to make the density buoyancy 10, because right now it's acting as smoke and it's floating up, but with the twister the wind is going everywhere, so I want to make sure that it's not just going up. And nice, we're getting the effect that I really like. So let's go ahead and increase the resolution to this now. And now, depending on your computer specs, you might want to increase this or decrease this, but it's always a good practice to save before doing this because it may crash. I'm going to give it a value of 375 for the resolution max access, and for the pressure solve iterations, I'm going to make this 12. And so now let's go ahead and add this to our scene and see how it's looking. Before I do that, let me make sure to check off the draw bounds to get rid of the red box on the outside there. So now let's go ahead and drag and drop this into my scene. Nice. I'm going to add it in my sequencer here and add a little life cycle. So I'm going to hit the plus button, and then I'm going to choose Niagara component, and I'm going to add a Niagara system life cycle track. Let's drag it to the first frame and then the last. And now we can see our little twister being formed. And yeah, that's how you create this effect. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I have a tutorial on how to explode anything, which also uses the Niagara system. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for future tutorials and like this video if you learned anything. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.